Hello everybody, the motivation for this video, which is about dark mode, came from a website that I'm working on, and I wanted to add dark mode. I will show you. So this is a website that I'm working on. It's about a quiz. I was managed to do the dark mode like this. And if you go, for example, to here, this is the quiz. Clicking here, or here, or here, or here, you will get the dark mode, and with this you will get the light mode. So this is dark mode. If you want another example, you can search for a Material UI website. And this is Material UI website. And you can toggle here between the light mode. This is the light mode. You see it's light. You have here white. And if I click here, I will get a darker version of my website. And this is another example of dark mode. So I showed you the motivation and two samples, but if I want to provide a written definition of dark mode, then dark mode is a display setting for user interface, such as smartphone or laptop. So instead of the default dark text showing against a light screen, you get a light color text presented against a black screen. And you can get it for mobile phone and PCs. So this is more official definition of dark mode, and the motivation for dark mode, except for the reason that I think it's very cool to have it on your website, is that it simply reduces the light emitted by the device, and it is easier for your client to see your website. Okay, so when I started to implement this dark mode, I had no idea what it is. So I've started to investigate what it is. And for every investigation, I made a repository, and I will guide you through my repository. So the first repository is simply the most simple implementation for dark mode. I've done it in vanilla JavaScript. Because my website is a next.js website with Material UI, I have prepared a second repository with next.js and trying to implement dark mode as simple as I can with next.js, still without Material UI. And after I've done this, I wanted also to implement and to see how dark mode is done with Material UI. So I've prepared a third repository, which is React with Material UI. And after I have understood the dark mode with respect to Material UI, I have done the fourth repository, which is a repository for Next.js with Material UI, implementing dark mode. And after I've done these four repositories, I was able to understand what is dark mode in Next.js plus Material UI, and I was able to do my website here. It is not finished, but the dark mode, I really like it. Okay, so all the repositories, they appear here on the slides, and there are also, these are the repositories. These are the name of the repository. And you can find them on my GitHub, which is this. This is my GitHub. And if you look here for dark, you will see my repositories, 4 repositories. Okay, so I will start with the vanilla dark mode. And so this is the most basic implementation of dark mode. No Material UI, no React, and no next.js. Let's run it and see what we get. And for all these repositories, I have a README, so I will go through the README and you will see later. You can check for yourself the code, but most of the code is presented on the README. So here I need to, you see here the index. Okay, I need to go live. And I can toggle here the dark mode. Okay, so this is the most simple implementation of dark mode in vanilla JavaScript. And let's see on the README, we can see it here. Okay, so we want to play with this, and the dark mode is actually implemented via a class. Okay, so if we look here, you see that I have body and the background is white and black. This is actually the light mode. And I have also a class that is called dark mode. And here the background is black and the color is white. So if I revert here, you see that this is the light mode and the background is light. The background is white. So this is this. And when I toggle here, I get a background which is black. And this is here. So how is it done? So as I said, it is simply using a class, and I name it dark mode, and you can name it whatever you like. But if you look here, you will see that I have a function, and the function, I simply toggle the dark mode. So I toggle the class between the dark mode, which is this. So if we will look now on the inspector, you will see that I have now the class dark mode because and you see that the background is black and the text is in white. But if I will toggle it, you see that the dark mode class is gone. And if the dark mode class is gone, now the default style is used, and the default is this. Okay, and now I can show that if I put here a red, you will see that this is red. Okay, so, and this is it. For the most simple implementation of dark mode, you simply create another class. You can name it whatever you like. I've named it dark mode. And you simply toggle it via this function. So this is vanilla JavaScript, most simple implementation of dark mode. And this is the repository. Okay, it appears also here. And now after I have understood this, I created a next.js project, and it appears here in this repository. Okay, so next.js dark mode, and let's invoke it first. So let's close this. And now let's go to next.js dark mode without Material UI. First, let's see what I've built, and then we will look into it. So we can close this, and here we can choose now next.js dark mode like this. Okay, and you have here the README, and let's invoke it. So you can see that if you want to invoke it, you need to install and run npm run dev. So it is already installed on my machine, so I simply need to run it, run the development server. Okay. Okay, so I can switch. When I click here on the light, it is changing to light, and to light mode, and when I click on the dark, it changed to dark mode. And it is important for me that I can also get here persistence. Okay, so here remember that it is dark. So if I closed it and open it like this, no, it was localhost. It will open with the dark. And if I change it to light and close it, it will revert to light. So in this implementation, the mode is persistent in some way. We will see soon. And the question also here is how dark mode is implemented. In the previous repository, we saw that it is implemented via a class, and here it is implemented in another way. So how is it done? So in next.js, if you look on the repository, you will see that next.js has a module which is called next themes. Let's look it in the internet. Okay, so this is the module that next.js use for handling themes. This is the module, and it has a theme, use theme hook, and it also prevent flash load, and it also persist the theme. How is it done? Right? So let's first look on the README. So in the README, I'm showing here that the theme is actually persisted. You can see it in the storage. Okay, so if you go here, to the storage, local storage, you see that the theme is light here. Okay, so, and now if I will click here dark, you see that it is changing on dark. So this is done by this module, next theme. This is why it was able to remember the last theme that I have used. So this is one issue. And the next issue is how does it implement the theme. He's not using a class. What you can see if you look in the inspector is that he's using something that is called attribute. This dark theme is part of this module, next theme. And you will see that when I'm changing it, now I will change it to light. You will see that it is changing here to light. So in the previous repository, when we worked with the vanilla implementation, CSS class was used to know if we are on light or dark mode. But here, using a next theme, it is implemented here on the HTML node with attribute that is called data theme. So this is how it is implemented. And the code is very simple. We can see it on the README. Okay, so we saw this. So in underscore app, we put the theme provider. This is a theme provider for next theme. And we put it here on underscore app because it is common for all pages. And if we want to use the theme, then we need to do the following code. And here we take the theme. We can change the theme via set theme using the use theme hook. And this is hook of next theme. We can see it inside the code. Okay, so this is the underscore app, and this is the theme provider from next theme. And this is implemented actually context API. This is how the theme is provided. And if we want to consume the theme, we can consume it here using use theme, and we can toggle it. Okay, this is the two buttons that I showed you before, and we can use the same set theme from this use theme and change it between light and dark. This is what we had before. Okay, here. This is the set light and set dark. Set light and set dark. And we need to do something. We need to work with the theme only after we are mounted, because Next.js is working by default with server-side rendering, and we want to set the theme only after we get the HTML from Next, and then we need to do the rest of the rendering, and it is called hydration. And to do this, we need to implement this code. If not mounted, return null. And then only if it is mounted, then we can take the theme from, it is taken from the local storage, and we can put it here. So this is the second repository using Next.js, a Next.js implementation for, or Next.js module for handling theme, which is Next Themes. And after I have done these two repository, I remind you that my website is Next.js with Material UI, so I need to play a little bit with Material UI, and this is why I have done the third repository. So the third repository, you can see it. You can see it on the slide. This is the third repository, React Dark Mode MAUI, Material UI. Okay, so I can click here. And again, we have a README. But first, I want to show you this repository. So let's close this. Let's go to this repository, React Dark Mode MAUI, and let's invoke it. npm run dev. It is installed here. Run dev. So first let's see what we got here. So let's invoke it here. And it's really simple, but you see that this is first is dark mode, and now I have a button to toggle it, and And look at the color. The color is not black, it's light. It's not, the color of the button is light blue for this dark mode. But if I click here, you see that I've changed the theme to light theme, and this is also changed the background and also changed the button. So this is why. So Material UI has support for dark mode and light mode, but you need to do it. So how you do it? So let's look at the README. And to look at the README, let's go here. To React Dark Mode MAUI. Okay. So you saw in Next.js has its own theme provider, and also MAUI has a theme provider. And this is the theme provider, and it's also implemented using Context API, and this is it. This is the code. Let's look at it inside the project. Okay. So on app.tsx, you can see here theme provider, and this theme provider you import it from Material UI. So Material UI has a theme provider, and this theme provider handles the theme, but the theme is not a string like in Next.js with a string of light or dark. Here it's something else. It's what we have here in themes.ts. Okay, and it is an object, and you need to invoke a function from Material UI, and this creates a dark theme and this creates a light theme. And you see here that I'm toggling between the dark theme and the light theme. So I have a state, and the first theme is dark. This is why when we start, if I do a refresh, it started with the dark theme. So this is this. And I'm providing the theme here. And then I can toggle with the button. I can toggle between the dark theme and the light theme. So this is how you handle dark mode and light mode in MAUI in React. And the last repository is a repository that combines Next.js, dark mode, and MAUI. So this is here. This is the name of the repository, so let's invoke it. Next.js dark mode MAUI. So let's invoke it. npm run dev. And before npm install, if you just cloning it. So npm run dev, let's see what we get. Okay, so here I've used icons for the dark mode. This is the dark mode. So if you click here, you want to toggle to the dark mode. And if you click here, you want to toggle to the light mode. Okay, so this is how it is implemented in Next.js, and actually it combined the previous repository. It combined the theme provider for Next.js, which is Next Themes. And because I'm working here with MAUI, Material UI, I need the theme provider also of Material UI. So this is explained here on the README. Okay, not this one. Let's go to the README of the last repository, last sample repository. Click here, dark, next.js, dark mode, MAUI. Yes, this is it. And if you look at the README, I've explained exactly what I'm doing. I'm playing with dark mode in next.js with MAUI, and also toggling the mode via an icon. And here I've explained all the files that I'm using, but this is the most important stuff. Point of interest, because there are two theme providers, and this we already know. One of them is imported from Material UI and handle this dark theme and light theme. We saw it before. And the other one is imported from next.js and handle the app theme and persistence. If we will look on the code here, so the underscore app has a theme provider from next theme and a page provider. And if we will look in this page provider, this page provider actually uses the theme provider, and this theme provider is the theme provider from MAUI. Okay, so in this example, I have actually combined the previous repositories. So this is the underscore app, and in index.tsx, I'm calling the toggle theme. I have a component to toggle the theme. This toggle theme appears here. Okay, I'm simply toggling the theme and changing the icons. This is the theme.ts, and we saw it from the repository of React MAUI. And here we have the page provider with MAUI, and this theme provider is from Material UI. So in this sample, I've combined the last two repository, and the end result, as I've explained, and after I've done these 4 repository, I was able to understand how to implement it on my application. And now it is, and if you look here, you will see on the persistence here, you will see storage, local storage. Here, you see the theme. This is done by next themes. So if I click here, you see it's changing to light. And on the other hand, on the inspector, I will see here the next data theme, again from next theme. If I click here, it is changed to dark. Click here, change to light. And if you go to the quiz and you click here, it is dark. And this is dark, and this is dark, and this is dark. And click here, you get the light. So this is how I was able to implement it. Thank you.